prasade pure sarva asha. चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहा होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेदे गाय जहर चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमदनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमदनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकर जीवाना हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पाद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पाद छाया एबे जाजु शुक्ति भुवाना एबे जाजु शुक्ति भुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेसाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे सरस्वती देवी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nithyananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nithyananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nithyananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की जय, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय, ऋषि गौर निताय की जय, पंचतत्व भगवान की जय, नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। प्रभु जी आप गाएंगे।
No, here, catalysis. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shiva Jaya Jaya Garachande Arati Kasaba Shiva Jaya Jaya Garachande Arati Kasaba Jana Katabane Jagamanalaba Jana Katabane Jagamanalaba Kibbadake nitaicha Bame gadadhara Kibbadake nitaicha Bame gadadhara Nikate advaita Nikate advaita sini Vacha satradara Nikate advaita sini Vacha satradara Kibbabose achegaracha Ratna simhasane Kibbabose achegaracha Ratna simhasane Arati karena Brahma Adivagame Arati karena Brahma Adivagame Kibanarari adikari Kamaradulaya Kibanarari adikari Kamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gusadigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gusadigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gusadigaya Kiba sangha baje ganta baje baje karta Kiba sangha baje ganta baje baje kartara madhura mridanga baje paramarasara tanka baje ganta baje Mother, 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 body. Tanka body, ganta body, mother, 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 body. Tanka body, ganta body, mother, 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 body. Jagarani tai jaya garani 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 tai Kibabahu koti chandra dini badana jwala gala dese bana mala kore jalamala Shiva Shiva Sukhanara Preme Gadara Preme Gadagara Bhakti Vinanda Deke Gadara Sampara Bhakti Vinanda Deke Gadara Sampara Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nithyananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nithyananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Premanande, Jaya Vishnupat Paramasya Parvajagacharya Stotra Sadasi Srimadi's Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupat Paramasya Parvajagacharya Stotra Sadasi Srimadi's Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. आनंद कवटी वैष्णविंद की जय, नाभिचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, सत गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय, जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धनाथ जी की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। नीलाचल क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। न्यू गोलक धाम की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। गंगा मैया यमुना माई की जय। श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। बृहत बजरंग ट्रांसलेटर बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। द मोस्ट मर्सीफुल श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर भगवान की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय। श्री पंचतत्व की जय। बोल प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादलाददायिने हिरण्यकाक्षी पूर्वाक्षः शीलटङ्कानखालये हितो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह बहे नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरेणखम् अद्भुतसिंह दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे। जय केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे। जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. See, quite a number of devotees. Thank you all also abiding by our mandatory mask rule, social distancing. Okay, so before we begin the class, some brief announcements. February 7th, Monday, February 7th, is the appearance day of Advaita Acharya. So Sadashiv, this combined incarnation of Sadashiv and Mahavishnu. Srila Advaita Acharya ki jai. So we'll be celebrating it right here, not virtually, but physically. And from that Monday, we will have Haribol Prabhuji. From that Monday, we'll have physical programs here, right at the temple. So we have darshan anyway open every day, but from February 7th, we will have congregational programs. That will be the first day. Then February 13th is a Sunday. We'll have first, after some January lag where we did not have programs. February 13th, we'll have Sunday program here. February 14th is Lord Nithyananda Trayodasi. Nithyananda Ram ki jai. And that also will be celebrated right here. It's a Monday, so in the evening from 7 to 9 p.m. So we invite you all to come and take this wonderful opportunity to serve Advaita Acharya, to serve Lord Nithyananda, and start your spiritual progress. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
We'll start the class in a minute. Give me a minute. Use the calendar to them.
Yeah, I'm taking.
Canting machine. The canting machine, whenever we see that it's on, we should close it. It should be on only in the morning.
Other Samsung. Yeah, it's okay. I should mute it. Okay. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। श्री श्री गौरताई की जय। श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बल्लेव सुभद्र महाराज श्री सुदर्शन जी की जय। श्री पंचतत्व की जय। Today we will be discussing, thank you all for coming. Today we will be discussing glories of Lord Advaita Acharya. Okay. From various pastimes. First, we'll be reading from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, chapter Antyakanda, part 2, chapter 9, where beautiful pastime is been given. So first of all, who is Lord Advaita Acharya? It is mentioned by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, is the incarnation of Mahavishnu and Sadasiv. Mahavishnu Jagat Karta, chapter 6 or even chapter 1, Chaitanya Charitamrita, verse number 12 and 13. Prabhupada gave lectures on 2 verses, 12 and 13. There it is. Prabhupada quotes these verses. Mahavishnu Jagat Karta, Mayayi Srujati Yadha, Tasyavatara Evayam Advaita Acharya Iswaraha. So, is the Mahavishnu who is engaging is the creational energy, the material energy or external energy or Maya Shakti for creating, for the living entities to enter into this material world, who wants to enjoy separately from the Lord. For that purpose, Lord Advaita Acharya, as incarnation of Mahavishnu, is engaged in this activity. That is Mahavishnu Jagat Karta Maya Srujati. Then Tasya Avatara Evayam Advaita Acharya Iswara. Is the Iswara principle. Out of Panchatattva we see on the altar, so 5 principal deities are there. 5 of them, 5 personalities. Left side 3 of them is starting with Sri Advaita Acharya, then Sri Nithyananda Prabhu, and 2 of them are Prabhus. Leftmost is Advaita Acharya, and then next is Sri Nithyananda Prabhu. Then middle is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna himself, Lord Nithyananda Prabhu, Lord Balaram. Ishvara Tattva, and then Sri Advaita Acharya is also Ishvara Tattva. That means Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. And then the rightmost side is Shakti Tattva. Is Gadadhar Pandit, internal energy of the Lord, Radharani's expansion, Radharani herself. And then we have Srivas Thakur, Narada Muni expanding, is Jiva Tattva, pure devotee. So in this way, we see in the spiritual world, there is no material energy, there is no external energy. So here on these 5 personalities, we see only internal energy and the Iswara principle and Jiva principle. But both are the spiritual energy. There is no external energy. Maya, there is no place for Maya in the spiritual world. It is only in the material world. So that's what we have to understand from the Panchatattva aspect. Now coming to this Advaita Acharya is son of Kuvera Pandit, and he had 6 sons. There also there is instruction, very, very important instruction given by Srila Prabhupada in the purport of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in chapter 6, I think verse number, quoting Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, how we have to look at the results, Phalena Parichyate. Judgment must be done by looking at the results. How out of Advaita Acharya Prabhu has 6 sons, out of them 3 followed the principles what Advaita Acharya has given, and 3 of them didn't follow. And their clear instructions are being given. We'll discuss that. So is Mahavishnu and Sadasiv, incarnation of Sadasiv also. So Lord Advaita Acharya Prabhu, who can induce or bring Supreme Lord Sri Krishna into this world? Unless one who is empowered, unless one who has given power of attorney, they only can bring. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila, chapter 7, verse number, I think, what is the verse number? I forget. But there it's mentioned, Kalikale Krishna, Kalikale Dharma Nama Sankirtan, Krishna Nama Nahi Tara Pravartan. Without the empowerment of Lord Krishna, there is we will not be able to transform any living entity. We will not be able to induce anyone to take up the holy name of the Lord. It's not possible. We can try however hard, but it's just not possible. Unless we have been empowered by the previous Acharya, empowered by the Supreme Lord, the authority, then only it is possible. Otherwise it is not possible. Yeah, verse number 11. Kali Kalere Dharma Krishna Nama Sankirtan Krishna Sakti Vina Nahi Tari Pravartam. Prabhupada quotes this many places. So this is that's why now understand it that little bit more. So let's take an example of, if you want to, like in the case of 2 examples we can see and then understand, apply that principle in our life. When we look at Krishna Leela, Yashoda Mai, Krishna and Balaram are playing with cowherd boys. Then Krishna didn't want to come. That was his birthday actually, Janmashtami day. Krishna didn't want to go home. Krishna and Balaram, so many different people called Krishna, it's time to go. Even Balaram's mother, Rohini, called. Still he's not coming. Then Yashoda Mai, then Rohini told, no, you only have to call, otherwise he will not come. Then Yashoda Mai started calling him. So then Lord Krishna started coming. Then boys told, if you are going like this, then tomorrow we are not going to play with you. And still Yashoda Mai told seriously, Nanda Baba is waiting, today is your birthday. See, everybody, all the cohort boys are wearing ornaments and jewel nicely decorated. Today is your birthday. You're not, you should come home. It is time to come home. Then finally he came home. So from that we should understand. And then Prahlad Maharaj also. So Prahlad Maharaj, Narasimhadev appeared by the intensity of Prahlad Maharaj. Not only that, when after Narasimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi Devi, all of them were there. But nobody could stop the anger of Narasimhadev. Nobody could even go. Lakshmi Devi also couldn't even go. Such a fearful personality, nobody could go. Then Prahlad Maharaj was able to go. There, Prahlad Maharaj beautifully offering prayers. Where Prahlad Maharaj is mentioning, I don't have any qualification. So the person who is at the pure devotee is thinking, I am not qualified. I am not qualified. And so Prahlad Maharaj is thinking deeply and intensely, and he is not fearful at all. Brahmadaya Suragana Manaya Atra Siddha Vachasam pravahi na aradidam purugunai adunapi pipru. I was telling I don't have any qualification. You're all highly qualified, but I don't have any qualification. At the same time, I'm not fearful at all. Because he's my Lord, he's my master. So I can induce him. So from Prahlad Maharaj and from Yasoda Mai, we can see unless, just like even when our kids play, when they are small, then we call, they might be playing cricket or whatever, then we call them. Generally they don't come, but only all others can call, no, they may not come. But when mother calls, mother knows exactly how to call the child. Because she has intense love and devotion. Intensity is there, affection is there. So if one wants to induce Lord Krishna to give us strength while chanting, to give us the taste, one wants to get the empowerment, then one must follow the Advaita Acharya principle. One must follow the Yashoda Mai's principle. She has 24/7, she was thinking of Lord Krishna. That's why she could able to, with love and affection. Nobody could do that. Prahlad Maharaj could do that because it was 24/7. Before Narasimha appeared, what was Prahlad Maharaj doing? He himself was practicing because Narada Muni, within the womb of Mother Kayadu Narada Muni, gave the teachings. And then he implied that from his, as soon as he came out from the womb, he was started doing that practice. And then not only that, he preached to others. So there the principle of Advaita Acharya is Acharya, Advaita Acharya. Dvaita means duality. Advaita is not different from Hari, Lord Vishnu. And then his Acharya means one who teaches by his own example. Acharya Mam Purusho Veda. One must follow the authority, Acharya. So Advaita Acharya is teaching by his own example. In Gautami Tantra it is mentioned, one must offer tulsi leaves with Ganga Jal and sincerely worship the Lord with intensity and affection and love, not by awe and reverence. The Lord will not be obliged to come. That is quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Swarup Damodar Goswami. Mahaprabhu is telling Swarup Damodar Goswami. Yes, Vidura was a Sudra, but Lord Krishna went there and ate banana peels also. Because it's only by affection and love. They didn't even know what they were giving. Peels are giving or banana they are giving. So that's why one must have this intensity and love and affection while chanting, while engaging worship the deity, while offering. So this intensity and affection also can come by preaching the glories of the Lord, by engaging in preaching, by giving Krishna consciousness to others with love and sincerity and very much sensitivity while dealing with Vaishnavas, while dealing with others, when we are giving prasadam. So in this way, then we can really induce by seeing our intense, serious, sincere desire in our hearts. Then Lord can really appear in our hearts. Lord can really empower us, inspire us, give us the taste in chanting, give us the taste in understanding the power of Mahaprasad. Many times we waste Mahaprasad. We don't know the power of Mahaprasad. Even a single grain cannot be wasted at home or at temple, anywhere. So that is the intensity of Mahaprasad. So it is very, very important. So Advaita Acharya is teaching by inducing. He is Mahavishnu himself. So he can call, but he is by showing that example, that by intense love, he is offering with tulsi leaves, because that is the Acharya's instruction. One must offer with tulsi leaves, tulsi manjaris. Whenever we offer, one must have tulsi plants at home, 3 or 4 at least, in winter, especially in East Coast, so that you can survive, you can have at least one plant survive throughout the winter. And then we will be able to pluck the tulsi leaves and offer every day fresh tulsi leaves. That is the only purpose of Tulsi Marani. Many people offer tulsi leaves, they are getting Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti. But one must offer these fresh tulsi leaves and offer manjaris. With manjaris is the best. One must offer at the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna. And on the bhoga also, especially. This Advaita Acharya induced in that love and affection with seriousness, with intensity, crying, then Lord appeared. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared by his in. Before that also, he suddenly didn't do this. Because he practiced Advaita Acharya, Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra's son is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His first son is Viswarup. Lord Nithyananda appeared as Viswarup, as Sachi Mata's first son. Before that also they had, but they all died. So Viswarup, where he used to go? He used to go to Advaita Acharya Prabhu's place. He was speaking Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, he is giving preaching. He was discussing Krishna Katha. Advaita Acharya was a great Acharya. He was preaching by his own example. He was a Grihastha. He has 6 sons. But he was so much responsibility was there. But still, he was engaging in full preaching, engaging in Krishna's activities. Hare Krishna. Please take care. Nobody could go on altar, please. So, so that is what by Advaita Acharya, by his own life example, Vishwarupa used to go. Even Mahaprabhu used to go. That's why Sachi Mata made an offense. Because Vishwarupa did the same thing. He's supposed to get married and renounced and went away. Then Mahaprabhu also is going to go away. Then he is not Advaita, he is Dvaita. So Sachi Mata cursed. In that way, that's why Mahaprabhu didn't give the mercy to even to mother. Because of the offensive mentality was there in the mother. And that we'll see later on in the pastime. That is another pastime. Mahaprabhu finally gave the mercy. Once after she was able to touch the feet of lotus feet of Advaita Acharya. So from this principle, we can see one must practice initially mechanically, but still by the following the authority, one must practice, but with love and affection. Initially maybe mechanical, but at least gradually we must understand and apply the principle of affection. He's my child, he's my, just like we treat with our own family members with love and affection. Then the same principle must be applied with dealing with devotees, serving devotees and the Supreme Lord. Then with that intensity and affection, then we can. That means it must be done every day. It is not like, oh, its festival is coming, I will do it. That's not how we do with our family members. We serve them every day. So then why not to the Lord? We must, in that same thing, we must apply, because this is not artificial. That's why impersonal has to be transformed to personal. Then only we can get any transformation in our heart. So that is the first principle we are seeing from Advaita Acharya. Then second principle we are seeing how Advaita Acharya Prabhu wants to serve. Even though he is Mahavishnu, he is showing how to serve the Supreme Lord. Exactly understanding the what other person wants. Is not by going his own whims or speculating, or he wants to serve whatever he likes, whatever he can do. No, it is not. He's going by what the other person likes, what the other devotee, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there is a pastime in Chaitanya Bhagavat, chapter 9, verse number 12 onwards. Ekadina Sri Advaita Simha Mahamati Prabhure Balila Aji Bhiksha Karahai. One day the magnanimous lion like Advaita Acharya requested of the Lord, oh, please take your lunch at my house today. I cook only a handful of rice. Please accept it so that my hands will become glorious. The Lord replied, whoever eats your rice certainly attains Krishna and his devotion service. O Acharya, your rice is my life. Krishna certainly eats whatever you cook. When you prepare an offering for Krishna, I am ready to even beg for the remnants. Who can understand the ecstasy Advaita felt when he heard such affectionate words from the Lord? In the great satisfaction, Advaita then returned home and made arrangement for the Lord's meal. Advaita's chaste wife, who was an expansion of Lakshmi, began to joyfully prepare for cooking. She gave Advaita those items that were dear to the Lord that she had brought from Bengal. Sri Advaita Mahasaya then meditated on Lord Chaitanya as he sat down and began cooking. See that. So what Mahaprabhu likes, that one must understand. What we cook, what we want to offer, we must understand from Srila Prabhupada or from spiritual master, from our senior devotees, understand how we should offer, what we should offer. So these must be understood. So gradually Krishna will reveal. So here, that's how, what Mahaprabhu likes, that's what she brought. His chaste wife made preparation for cooking different vegetables according to the inspiration that manifested in her heart. She knew the Lord was very fond of saka, so she gave means these are spinach and various types of spinach. There are many in Bengal you get, here also you get, but we don't endeavor for it. We don't understand the Mahaprabhu's mercy. Mahaprabhu's mercy means one must cook sak, whether you like it or not. This is not what we like or not. Whether we like it or not, we want to please the Supreme Lord. Gradually we like. And before coming to US, I was not so fond of Bengali items, or not so fond of. But now that became the fond of items more than anything else. Without sak, there is no single day. You cannot just, it is something else. Saka is the first and foremost priority because that is what Mahaprabhu likes. So that, and it's a very important principle one must. Pleasing the Supreme Lord and spiritual master is the first and foremost priority. Advaita Acharya cooked and his chaste wife assisted. In this way, they both floated in the ocean of happiness. Advaita said, "O mother of Krishnadas, listen, let me tell you what I'm thinking." The Krishnadas report to herein is Krishna Mishra, son of Advaita. 6 sons were there. One was Achyutananda, who is Kartikeya, son of, Kartikeya incarnation, son of Sadashiva, because Kuber Pandit prayed, he was a devotee of Lord Shiva, he prayed to have a son exactly. No, there is no, you cannot get like that. I myself will appear. So Sadashiva in that way is Advaita Acharya is also Sadashiva. So then he had Achyutananda, who was the son Kartikeya, one some say, and then some say Achyuta Gopi in Kavi Karnapur's Gaur Gando, the Stipki is mentioned. Then Krishna Mishra, this year it is mentioned Krishna Mishra, second son. Third son is Gopal. Three sons who are prominent, who followed exactly what Advaita Acharya Prabhu is teaching. There are other 3, Sri Balaram and Jagadish and one more, but they didn't follow what Advaita Acharya, they went against. So that also we have to understand, but that we will discuss later on that. I don't know how, but I want the Lord to relish everything that we have cooked. If he comes along with the other sannyasis, I am certain he will not eat very much. See the principle. So that's why we must understand. Forget about devotion service, even in a general principle. If you are going to invite guests, if you are going to invite somebody, we must know this etiquette, time, place, circumstance. We must understand. If you are going to invite 10 people, then the actual person we want to please, we want to serve, will he like that? Or will he be able to take it? Will that circumstance will be congenial for him? This principle must be understood. So generally all the sannyasis accompany the Lord every day to take their meals. They all have a great respect for the Lord. So out of affection, they take their meals with him. Advaita thought, how nice are all these preparations. If only the Lord would come alone, then I could make him eat all these preparations. But how can I fulfill this desire of mine? Advaita Acharya continued to think in this way as he cooked. Meanwhile, the Lord completed the chanting of this fixed number of holy names and prepared to perform his noon duties. The sannyasis who generally took their meal with the Lord also went to perform their noon duties. At that time, before that, you see that Advaita Acharya was meditating. How I can, because when Mahaprabhu comes alone, then he can take all. But when I'm cooking all these preparations, if all others will come, Mahaprabhu as sannyasi, he knows how to, be practiced by his own preaching, his own example. Sannyasi is not supposed to take so many items, and definitely he will not take. So that's why Advaita Acharya, just by his thinking, intense thinking, was there. Now what's going to happen, you see. A nice example is been given here. At the time, however, Indra, the king of the demigods, suddenly sent an intense shower of rain and strong winds for the satisfaction of Advaita. Hailstones began to fall everywhere. The wind blew fiercely and it rained without a limit. All the directions became so darkened with the dust in the air that the sannyasis could not find the way to their residences. The wind was so forceful that no one could stand still. No one could understand what direction they were going. The area where Sri Advaita was cooking, however, had only a little rain and wind. The sannyasis who generally took their meals with the Lord got lost, and no one knew where they went. Meanwhile, the lion-like Advaita finished cooking and cleaned a spot where he placed the rice and vegetable preparations. He also set out ghee, yogurt, milk, cream, butter, pistaka, a sweet preparation made with rice, varieties of sweets, sandesh, and bananas. After putting a tulsi manjari on each preparation, Advaita sat down and meditated on bringing Gaur Hari there. Meditated. So that's why there is a external suddhi, achman we do, and then we do mantra suddhi also. When you do upachar in the temple, there is a process, means your external purification by achman, then you have more mind intelligence because we have subtle body also. Then again, that is meditation. That's why we do Gayatri before doing the worship. Very important. There it is also principle is applied. The deity worship is very important. Second initiation is even more important because One who is chanting the Gayatri mantra, especially the last two, Brahma, Mahatma, Gaudiya, some of the 7 Gayatris. The last 2 Gayatris is even more prominent. Krishna Gayatri and Kama Gayatri, Narada Muni, Lord Brahma, all of them. One who is chanting without any material desire, with only spiritual desire, simply only satisfying the spiritual master and supreme Lord, they can fulfill their desire by just simply this chanting, this intensely chanting the Gayatri, the last 2 Gayatri mantras, all Gayatri, but specifically the last 2, where we are, those both will be fulfilled. If somebody has material desire, those will be fulfilled. But if they have spiritual, intense spiritual desire, that will also be fulfilled. So that's also given in Brahma Samhita. If you read, there are 2 verses related to these 2 Gayatris. There it is clearly mentioned how these desires will be fulfilled. So that it is very important. Second initiation is very important to increase our attachment, worship the deity with that intensity, and with that intensity chanting Gayatri mantra with that mood itself. We have to prepare ourselves with that mood before chanting. Not mechanically, yes, initially that also will be mechanical, but gradually we have to come to that platform. So that is the main principle behind. So to say there is a Saukara, Savitra, and Yagnika. 3 types of birth. Saukara is from mother, father. Then Savitra is from the first initiation, or from the Junoi, one who gets Upanayana. Not the actual initiation, but Upanayana, with the Brahmin or Vaishya or Kshatriya. Then later on, Yagnika means second initiation. Through Yagna, fire, sacrifice, Pancharatrik Vidhi. So it is a very important principle. The Lord was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in ecstatic love as he came before Advaita. So because Advaita Acharya meditated, immediately Mahaprabhu appeared right there. So Advaita offered respectful obeisance to the Lord's lotus feet. Then he offered a seat which Gaurahari sat. Seeing that no one had come with the Lord, Advaita became overwhelmed with ecstasy. Along with his wife, Advaita happily washed the Lord's feet, offered him sandalwood pulp, and fanned him. Gaurachandra then happily sat down to eat, and Advaita began to serve him. The Lord accepted with love whatever vegetable preparation was joyfully offered to him by Advaita. The Lord would leave a small portion of each vegetable preparation uneaten. Gaurachandra then smiled and said to Advaita, "Do you know why I am leaving these remnants? I left a portion of each preparation behind because I want to see what preparations I have eaten." The Lord smiled and as he asked, "Listen, Advaita, where have you learned to cook all these preparations? I have never before eaten such saka. Whatever you have cooked is wonderful." The Lord ate whatever Advaita offered. The Lord, for Lord Gauranga, is like a desire tree, fulfilling all the desires of his devotees. The Lord accepted the yogurt, milk, ghee, cream, sandesh, and whatever else was given by Advaita. In this way, the Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya took his meal and satisfied the desires of lion like Advaita. As the Lord was finishing his meal, Advaita began offering prayers to Indra. "O Indra, today I have come to know your prowess. Today I have come to know that you are certainly a Vaishnava. From today, Indra, I will offer you water and flowers, for today you have certainly purchased me." Because Indra helped in Advaita Acharya to serve the Lord. So that's why this is any Vaishnava trying to serve the Lord or other devotees, and another Vaishnava is helping. So this is very, very important principle. And before that also you see that Advaita Acharya washing the feet, and arrangements are being made, because this is what is the principle. Everything is personal. When we invite the guests, this is what we used to do in olden days. Now, when we are doing at home or at temple, especially at temple, this is how we have to. But we have to offer this. Etat padyam, idam achmanim. All these are very personal. Feel that personal you are doing this, washing the lotus feet, washing the hands, achman, padyam, argyam, naivedyam. These 4 things must be done. Many times we rush. Offering is not rush. Lord also will do rush only. Yes, that's what will happen. As you do, Lord reciprocates. It must be done with intention and love. Then he will also reciprocate with that same intention and love. So that's why it must be thoroughly thought through. Impersonal change to personal, always, in our each and every aspect of devotion service. That's what Advaita Acharya Prabhu is teaching us by his own example. Lord inquired, "Why are you offering nice prayers to Indra today? Please tell me." Advaita replied, "You just eat. There is no need for you to hear about this." Lord said, "Oh Acharya, why are you trying to hide the truth? The rain and winds that came were all you are doing. This is not the season of strong winds. Yet strong winds, intense rain, and a great hailstorm suddenly appeared. I have understood without doubt that all these disturbances were arranged by your will. So, this is Advaita Acharya showing by his own example. I will now explain why you had Indra to do all this. You thought that if I come with sannyasis, I would not eat very much. But if I come alone, you could fulfill your desire by feeding me everything you cooked. Therefore, you created all these disturbances to stop the other sannyasis from coming. The fact that Indra carried your order does not demonstrate your actual potency. It was his good fortune that he got an opportunity to serve you. Even Lord Krishna does not refuse your request. You are able to make him appear anywhere. He is arranging for some wind and rain wonderful for one whose words are respected by Krishna Chandra. He is arranging some wind and rain wonderful for one whose order Yamaraj, time, death carry on their head, whose lotus feet are desired by the best of the yogis and munis, and by remembering whom one is freed from all bondage. Who in this world knows you perfectly? Only by your mercy can one get the fruit of devotional service. Mahaprabhu is glorifying Advaita Acharya. Advaita said, you are very affectionate to your servants. I derive strength because I have accepted this fact with my body, mind, and words. May I always remain as powerful as a lion by the strength of devotional service to you. Please give me the benediction that you will never abandon me. This is the Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu, but he is showing how to lead by example. He is intensely praying to the Lord that let me, please don't abandon me at any time, in any life. Life after life, let me always be a servant. So that's what Advaita Acharya Prabhu is teaching. In this way, the two Prabhus relished their discussion as the Lord happily finished their meal. So the statements coming from Advaita's lotus mouth are all certainly true. There is no other possibility. Anyone who does not relish hearing this narration is the lowest of men and will certainly be barefoot of Advaita's merciful glance. So in this way, we can understand this pastime, already 7:11. So we'll try to understand another pastime, also beautiful pastime, how Lord Advaita Acharya giving his Viswarup, showing his form to one personality who's criticizing and offending Vaishnavas. So this is from Narhari Sarkar Thakur's, I think, Bhakti Ratnakar. There are two books of Bhakti Ratnakar. One is, I think, Narhari Sarkar Thakur, one is another personality, I think. So there are two different books, but it is one of the book, Bhakti Ratnakar. There it is explained in the 5th chapter. Raghav Pandit is narrating this pastime to Srinivas Acharya, Gaur Leela. This is from Gaur Leela. Yeah. Where it is explained that Tirtha Paryanta Kala Advaita Gosai, Deki Madurara Sabra Chila Eitai, Maturaya Anudeshi Eka Vipra Adama, Vaishnave Nindaya Sada, Eitara Nima, Pandita E Mami, Dishtra Sakala Prakare. So is Adama, means is mentioned when Advaita Acharya was on pilgrimage, he came here to admire the beauty of Mathura. He was coming to Mathura, Mathura Vrindavan. A fallen Brahmin who lived there, was always criticizing Vaishnavas. It was his regular habit. He was very fond of his learning and wicked in all respects. The gentle people of Mathura trembled in fear of him. Then one day he criticized a Vaishnava in a way that was impossible to tolerate. And in Advaita Prabhu's presence, when Advaita heard it, he was overcome with great anger, divine anger. With trembling lips and reddened eyes, he said time and again in a greatly challenging way, "Oh, you atheist, there is no redemption for you. Look here at the disc in my hand. I will slice your head off with it." Saying this, Lord Advaita Prabhu assumed a four-armed form, seeing which the Brahmin began to tremble of fear. Folding his hands, he said time and again, "Oh Lord, punish me as you deem fit. My intelligence was destroyed through bad company. Not knowing the facts about Vaishnavas, I committed offenses. There is no limit to number of offenses I committed. Lord, please redeem. As godless heretic like me, saying this, the fallen Brahmin wept, and the Lord withdrew his four-armed form. When he saw the condition of Brahmin, Advaita Prabhu became compassionate and mercifully spoke sweet words. You committed offenses, so you should suffer a terrible hell. So listen carefully now, what I will say. You have been offensive all along. Now give all this up and engage in Nama Sankirtan in your life. In the effort of pleasing the Vaishnavas, and always deal with them carefully. Engage in different limbs of devotions or devotional practices, and don't tell anyone of the form of mine you have just seen. Saying this much, Advaita Prabhu continued his pilgrimage, while the Brahmana went mad in ecstasy of Harinam Sankirtan. Weeping, he went from door to door, seeing all the Vaishnavas of Mathura showing great humility. When the resident Vaishnavas saw the Brahmin's behavior, they were very pleased and thought of his welfare. Someone said, "What an amazing sudden change I saw." Another one said, "I tell you how this happened. One Brahmin pilgrim came to Mathura. Although he tried to conceal himself, he shone like the sun. I now realize that he was God in a human form. It is by his mercy only that this Brahmin changed like this." So you can see this is Advaita Acharya Prabhu's mercy, how is able to, because Lord cannot tolerate a Vaishnava. Lord can take the offenses to himself. Devotee does offenses to Lord, he will tolerate. But he will not tolerate devotees, Vaishnavas being offended. In Nectar Devotion, 6th chapter, 7th chapter, 64 items are there. In that, one item is clearly given. One must not disrespect anyone, any living entity, even ordinary living entity. Forget about devotee or not devotee. And then if he is a Vaishnava, is more further. If he is a pure devotee spiritual master, that will be the grievous offense. Example is Bhrigu Muni. There are three levels of offenses. Bhrigu Muni, first he did offense by his mentally only. He did. When he went to Lord Brahma, he didn't offer any offense. He was his own father. He didn't even show basic things also. Mind, body, words. That was the sequence. So mind, then, that was, I think, with mind, words. Yeah, with words, Brahma he did. And then later on with Lord Shiva also. His speech is words. First with mind and then words also. With Lord Shiva, he said, you don't have proper cleanliness and this and that. He like chastised like anything. Lord Shiva is not ordinary person, but in that way he spoke. Then Bhrigu Muni finally went to Lord Vishnu Vaikunta because he wanted to search. All the sages tried to find who is the greatest, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu. Then in that way he was going on and on. And Lord Brahma immediately was very upset and angry with the Bhrigu Muni. Later on Lord Shiva was also same thing. Was very angry. Then when he came to Lord Vishnu, this time he used his own body. With mind, with words, his offense is a little bit lower. In Kali Yuga, mind, anything we think is not really considered. But more somebody is contemplating in the mind, that will automatically come into words, then automatically will come into action also. So the mind is getting into words, that itself is a serious offense. And then further it is coming with the body. One who's acting with hands and legs, anything with the body is doing something, action. That's a serious offense, especially to a pure devotee spiritual master. And Supreme Lord here directly, Bhrigu Muni went to hit with put his leg on the chest of the Lord. Lord didn't take an offense in this case because directly doing to the Lord. Lord, rather he told, he was very peaceful. He was not agitated at all. Rather he told, so my chest is so hard, it might have hurt you, Lord. Then he could understand. Lord Vishnu is in Visuddha Sattva, is not agitated at any circumstance. And Lakshmi Devi was offended. She cursed Bhrigu Muni later on. But seeing this, then she didn't want, because he put his feet on this. That's where Mahalakshmi lives, on the chest of Mahalakshmi lives on the chest of Narayan. So this is what we can see by understanding. We should be very careful. By mind or body or words, we must be careful not to criticize anyone. So Especially more we engage mind, body and words, kaya and manasa buddhya. So this is there in Vishnu Sahasranam, this is there in everywhere. Yasya harer dasya karmana manasa agira. Nikilas avastasu jivan mukta uchate. Rupa Goswami quotes this. One must use mind, body, words in the engaging in the devotion service. Then he will be able to get liberated. So that's why we can see the principle from Advaita Acharya, how one must not criticize anyone, any devotee. 7:19. We have time. So one more, there is unending. I'm only touching a surface of Advaita Acharya's glories. So many. I just covered from Chaitanya Bhagavat, I covered from Bhakti Ratnagar. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are so many. There are almost 10 or more than 10 books related to Gaur Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. We only generally know Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is the main book for us. Chaitanya Bhagavat. Then you have Chaitanya Chandramrita by Prabodhananda Saraswati. Then you have Chaitanya Charita Mahakavya. Murari Gupta Chaitanya Karacha. And then Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka is there from Kavi Karnapur. Then there is a Jagannath Vallabh Nataka, Jagadananda Pandit. There is a, I think, Raghunath Das Goswami's, I think, Gauranga Samhita. So in this way, so many are there because Murari Gupta wrote in his diary, Sarup Damodar Goswami wrote in his diary. So different devotees wrote in their diaries. That's how became later on. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami obviously was been given the mercy by Lord Nithyananda Prabhu. So in this way, different authors, Vrindavan Das Thakur, but the principle of them out of all these is Chaitanya Charitamrita is the main one. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote, and Chaitanya Bhagavat, and also Lochan Das Thakur, Chaitanya Mangal. So you see how much vast. That's why there is a PhD. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam is by teaching. Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita even goes beyond it. How to practice with practical example. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching by his own example. Even though he gave only 8 verses by Sikshastakam, but practically showing his own behavior, how to deal when his dealings with his mother, with his various types of devotees. So that's all. Even now in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, chapter number 12, there is a pastime where Advaita Acharya Prabhu used to have a servant called Advaita Acharya is also called Kamalaksha, lotus-like eyes. Later on, he became Advaita Acharya when he was initiated by Madhavendra Puri. But there, he has a son, he has a servant, very confidential servant, Kamalakanta Viswas. Kamalakanta Viswas. Chapter 12, in I think, chapter 12, verse number 25 onwards, where Tabe Mahaprabhu Tandra Hrude Hasta Dari. Uttaila Gopal, Kaila Bala, Hari Hai. Lord Chaitanya put his hand on the chest of Gopal, told him, my dear Gopal, get up and chant the holy name of the Lord. No, this is not the one. Further, this is before that. So when they went into the past, when Lord in Jagannath Puri, in Ratha Yatra time, one of the son, Gopal, he was only small, but he was while chanting and dancing in ecstasy, he fell down unconscious. Advaita Acharya picked up and he chanted Narsingha prayer. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put his hand on his body and O Gopal, chant the holy name. Then immediately got up conscious and then he started chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Gopal had such a strong attachment to the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then further it is mentioned, Kamalakanta Viswas is some Sei Patrite Lekha Acha Eta Likhana Iswara Tarai Acharyera Kariyache Stapana. A note established that Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Supreme Lord. Kintu Tandra Daine Kichu Haicha Runa Sodi Bare Chati Tanka Satatina. But it also mentioned that Advaita Acharya had recently incurred a debt of about 300 rupees that Kamalakanta wanted to liquidate. So where it is mentioned Kamalakanta Viswas is a confidential servant. So then he sent a note to King Pratap Rudra that Advaita Acharya is writing that he is incarnate Mahavishnu. At the same time, he is telling he has a debt of 300 rupees. I want to liquidate this debt. And he sent a note to Pratap Rudra. But he didn't go to Pratap Rudra. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got this note. Then Mahaprabhu immediately chastised this Kamalakanta Viswas. You are saying Lord Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu, that is correct. And at the same time, you are saying Daridra Narayan. You are saying that if he is a Mahavishnu, how can he be incurred a debt of 300 rupees? He is a poor. So that then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised him like anything. Then Kamalakanta Viswas was very distraughted, and then he didn't like. Then he went and told Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya Prabhu was very pleased. Pleased to hear this pastime that, oh, you are being Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is merciful to you. Whether it's chastisement or either satisfied, you should take it as a blessing. He didn't do that to me. He didn't chastise me. So you are very, you got the benediction. So you should be very happy. There, Prabhupada writes in the commentary, that in the purport, one should not be unhappy when reverses come upon the living entity by the order of the Supreme Lord. Must be happy to receive fortune awarded by the Lord, whether pleasant or unpleasant. This is a very important principle. Many times disturbances will come while engaging in devotion service. Sometimes job, sometimes family, sometimes outside, whether it's COVID or whatever the case may be. So one must not stop. One must not think that Lord has somehow or other engaged me in this. Or give me this distress, give me these difficulties. Lord is not there. There is no God. So sometimes we see that. While distributing books also I have faced many times. So there is no God. I don't believe in this. All right, thank you. Yeah, so what can be done? So because the karma is implicated, then that's they don't have pious credits. Basic things also, they don't know what can be done. So that's why one must be using his credits very carefully. So whenever we go through difficulties, one must seek guidance, one must chant the holy name, one must come to temple and sit peacefully and take the association of devotees, take Mahaprasad. So gradually, all the disturbances, difficulties will be removed. Opportunity for progress, opportunity for improvement. Difficulties means it is our own karma getting nullified, sinful activity being nullified. Whatever the case, whatever type of difficulty, sometimes minimal, sometimes very serious so things also will happen, but it's on our own karma. But most of the times when we engage in devotion, Lord Krishna will very minimize it. He will minimize it and transform into devotional service more and more. But sometimes there may be more than we can handle it seemingly, but Lord will also give strength in giving some mercy from spiritual master or association of devotees or some form or the other. We get mercy to handle that situation. Initially may be very difficult to handle it, but later on we'll be able to get through it. Lord knows exactly how much we can handle it. So we are not like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada can handle great situation. That's why even heart attack he could handle it. When everything was taken away, his business, everything is lost. He had to give up family, everything. It's not going to happen to you and me. We cannot handle it. The situation that will happen for those Pandavas, it happened. The situation happened to Pandavas and Kunti Maharaj. It is not going to happen to us. We cannot handle it. So Lord will give the situation which we can handle it. It's our own karma, but He will give situation which we can handle it, and He will give also strength through which we can handle it. But we must be on the lookout. We must not be moroseful and sitting at home and very depressed and so going in wrong direction. Rather, we must look out for opportunity to how to come out, improvements. Then we'll be able to come out of the situation. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu is teaching by his own example in these various pastimes. So he's always cooking, he's always teaching, he's always preaching. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, so many disciples. So out of 6 of them, there also Prabhupada quotes 3 of them. Achyutananda was a great preacher, one of the biggest branch, and Krishna Mishra is second one, and the third one is Gopal. The other 3, Balaram and Jagadish and one more, they didn't follow, 6 sons. So where Prabhupada quotes Gaudiya Mutt, explaining Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, one who doesn't follow and satisfy the spiritual master's order, then is not going to get the result. It will be as good as it's kind of useless. Basically, no result, no transformation. You cannot change, you cannot preach, it will not be effective. So that's because Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur told clearly, there is nobody, no one is going to become an acharya after me. You must all work together, establish a GBC, work together. In that way, he told, but nobody followed it. Prabhupada is quoting all this writing in Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 12, I think chapter 7 or 12. Prabhupada is describing, Prabhupada is describing in nice verse. Paddy is mixed with straw. At first, one must fan it to separate the paddy from straw. So, quoting that. So, in the same way, one must separate out separate out unwanted things. One must see the results. And then we will understand. One must judge by actions by result. One must not be impediments. One must not disobey the orders of Guru. Yasya deve para bhakti rata deve tada guru tasyeva hi katita prakasante mahatmana. Where so there is a 12th chapter, verse number 8 onwards, this has been explained. The followers of Advaita Acharya, half of them followed, half of them didn't follow. Same thing happening with Advaita Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's followers. Some followed, some didn't follow. So that's why we have to be careful. So what Prabhupada is teaching, we must read, study his books very carefully, thoroughly understood in the association of devotees. Then we will be able to understand actually what it meant by devotion service. What still Prabhupada wants, what is his desire? Thinking, feeling, willing. That's what Advaita Acharya is constantly is thinking, feeling, willing, how to serve the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Always, how to distribute is very compassionate, very tolerant. He was not impatient. Advaita Acharya Prabhu. So many times, again and again. How many times? He was always serving devotees. Haridas Thakur, he didn't differentiate whether Muslim or some. He was always serving devotees. So that's why we have to take this principle. How to somehow or the other, I want to please spiritual master, Sri Prabhupada, and devotees, his devotees especially. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu is always serving his devotees throughout his life. He was very elder. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he was already 40 years or 30-40 years at that time. Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baldev Sotramanand Sri Sudarshan ji ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Mandir. Andra Srimad Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki jai, Advaita Acharya Prabhu Ayurva Maha Mahotsav ki jai. And on February 7th, Monday is actual day of Advaita Acharya Prabhu's appearance, fasting till noon. And February 14th is Lord Nithyananda Prabhu's appearance. Very, very important day, these 2 days. So please try to plan such a way that because it's a weekday, you may not, but unless you plan, you will not be able to make it. 7 to 9, we'll have Abhishek, we'll have Kirtan, we'll have Prasadam to go. Please try to join as early as possible. Anything you can help with, Abhishek, or getting any boga, anything you want to bring, so you can try to bring. So you can bring some vegetables also, spinach or anything like that, yogurt. All this has been discussed. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita elaborate. He called Nithyananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them also invited and fed them. So many different places these descriptions are given, what items. So those items we should try to offer, try to bring. So that way we can try to please the previous acharyas. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki jai. Very bol. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo vacha pattanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Vaishnavanda ki jai. Hare Krishna, thank you all for joining on the Zoom. Thank you all for joining on the Zoom. We'll conclude the session.